Hello everybody and welcome back to Let's Play Super Robot Wars Z2.1 Hakai-Hen. In the last part we finished chapter 2 of the Japan route. The first chapter in the Japan route that began on chapter 2, that is. So, and that one's the one that introduced this universe's version of Mazinger Z, along with Aphrodite and their pilots Kouji and Sayaka. So, without further ado, we're going to be beginning the next map in on this particular route right now. Let's get on with it, shall we? So, meanwhile, in Japan, let's just have that run a bit slower than normal this time. So, this is Dr. Yumi, also known as Sayaka's father. They are having a talk about Mazinger Z and how it's very impressive that that it was built even in 10 years by only one man, Juzo Kabuto. And yeah, even in Japan, which obviously is the world leader when it comes to robots, only licensed corporations and labs can have giant robots. Yeah, they're also talking about Celestial Being and another mysterious robot known as Dankuga, Dankuga, not really sure how to pronounce it, who always picks a fight with fighting forces and always backs the losing side, which is kind of odd. So, meanwhile, Crow is in jail because Uncle Kouji here refuses to listen to him when, well, not refuses. Turns out Axion, the company, has no idea who he is, and so the story that Crow gave to him was, well, as being an Axion test pilot, he's not really believing it, surprisingly enough. Yeah, so, yeah, so, Crow's going to end up sending him off to talk to Trier at the labs, at the Scott labs, and yeah, Uncle Kouji's is willing to go and talk to them after he's had a bit of lunch. So yeah, so now Crow is going to end up having a bit of a chat with Kouji and his brother Shiro here. Yeah, so Crow's trying to cheer up Kouji over here, because he's kind of unhappy on account of, you know, being in prison and his grandfather dying, and him and his little brother being literally the only family that he has left. So and yeah, they're having a chat with Crow. Crow's told them about his million G debt, and he's also talking about he's also talking about Dr. Hell and his vague plans to take over the world, however he thinks he's going to manage that. So yeah. Oh, and as for how Kouji's going to avenge his grandfather, he kind of doesn't have any idea. He's not got a plan. He doesn't really know what's coming, and so Crow wants to make sure that that Kouji knows exactly what he wants to do with his robot. You know, the whole great power and great responsibility stuff, and, you know, etc. That kind of thing. So, you know, fairly standard. And Uncle Kouji's come back. And someone's come to talk to him. To Crow. From, well, I don't know actually. Someone's come to talk to him. Anyway, yeah, we got and yeah, we got some. We got a new what's it? Location. Sorry, I'm feeling quite tired right now because I worked quite hard today, and so yeah, I'm kind of a little bit out of it. Anyway, so meanwhile at 21st Century Security Incorporated, we've got Akagi, Akagi, Ibuki, and Aoyama. Yeah, Akagi, Aoyama, Ibuki. They are Dai-Guard's main characters. So they're this is getting quite loud actually. So yeah, yes. So yeah, the 21st Century Corp guys, security guys, are having a chat about what happened last chapter about Dr. Hell coming and attempting to beat up a giant robot and failing miserably. And Akagi's really impressed and super excited because he really wants to pilot a giant robot as well. So yeah. And turns out 21st Century does actually have a giant robot known as Dai-Guard, although it can only really be deployed for an event known as a world shock, kind of similar to the dimension shock that Damon's arrived from. And so yeah. And what happens in a world shock is that a giant monster known as a Heterodyne appears and destroys basically everything that gets in its way. And yeah, so Dai-Guard was built to combat those. Although at the moment it isn't exactly up to snuff, sadly. It's it's basically kind of just a model at the moment. It's not really it's not ready for production right now. It's just a showcase. Anyway. So yeah, Akagi's been left here to entertain the kids in a silly costume, while while everyone else goes back to work, basically. I've run out of things to say. There we are. And yeah, so the bosses of 21st Century Corp, Inc., are having a talk about the last world shock 12 years ago, and about how they found out about one that happened fairly recently, but off into sea. And yeah, that alarm means that there's just been another one, although it's decidedly closer this time. Hence, Chapter 4. It was Chapter 4, not Chapter 2. Chapter 3 was last time, not Chapter 2. I told you I was tired. Sorry, guys. Anyway, Chapter 4, The Disaster Arrives. Chapter 4, Japan route, that is. So, the ladies here have seen something. It's a Heterodyne, and yeah. Orders from HQ are The show is cancelled. Employees must be evacuated. Akagi kind of disagrees. He wants to save lives. So he kind of wants to get in Dai-Guard and have a fight with the Heterodyne to save lives. Because he's, you know, the most... he is the most hot-blooded salaryman ever. Oh dear. Yeah, so Akagi, Akagi, Ibuki, and Aoyama have kind of given up. Ibuki and Aoyama have kind of given up trying to get him to stop piloting it. So they're going to pilot it together because it's a three-person machine. Anyway, Dai-Guard's going to get booted up here. And, yeah, we're getting there. Well, the Heterodyne isn't happy, by the way. It's blowing stuff up. It's destroying stuff. Yeah, come on. More blowing up. Hi, Dai-Guard. Wow, Dai-Guard gets a cut in as well. Not a cut in, a, what's it? Ow. So, our objectives are as follows. Beat the Heterodyne. Sorry, 1 second. Yeah, so our objective as of right now, beat the Heterodyne. That's the Heterodyne. We don't know what its stats are. We do, however, know what Dai-Guard's stats are. First of all, let's have a look at the pilots. Akagi Shinsuke has level 6 Prevail, Battle Spirit, and his unique skill Salaryman, which gives him an extra 3 PP for every kill. What's it? Hang on. I'll just... No, second. It's an extra 3 pilot points every time he levels up, every 10 kills, and on every map in which they're deployed. So basically, he gets lots and lots of PP, which means that you can pump him full of skills far quicker than anybody else. As long as he continues to get kills, basically. Come on. Yeah, he also has Gain and Guts. And as for his... Why can I not check his... Ah, there we are. Ibuki and Aoyama also have Salaryman, but they don't have skills or PP or anything because they are but lowly support sub-pilots. They do, however, have Vigor as their spirits, which is very helpful. Now, as for Dai-Guard itself, it's a bit of a mess, I'll be honest. It's kind of a mess. Its mobility is... Well, it's a super robot, but at the moment, its defense is worse than any other mech I've ever seen in Super Robot Wars. Which, thankfully, pretty sure that's not going to continue. But, hey, at the moment, it's a pretty significant liability. Yeah, so, Dai-Guard has terrible mobility, as befits a super robot, but once it actually has armor, it'll be able to tank reasonably well, and of course it has three pilots with healing spirits on it, so it'll be able to take hits reasonably well. And the majority of its weapons are ammo-based, which means you won't need to upgrade its energy too much, for the most part. Its movement is, however, the worst. Just terrible at 4. And its weaponry is appalling, as you'd expect. Anyway, so without further ado, let us get on with this, shall we? So, first of all, decision time. Do we get on here? Do we get on here to get the defense boosts, or do we just attack this thing? I would normally attack. I would normally put myself on a defensive terrain, but unfortunately, if I do that, then Dai-Guard can't hit anything with its 2-range weaponry. So I can't really afford to do that. I'm just going to have to go up and punch this thing in the face. Let's do it. By the way, Dai-Guard's theme is great. So here comes the punch. Yeah, it literally is just a punch. And as for the counterattack, Heterodyne counters with a whip that knocks down, that knocks off like half of my health. Brilliant. Anyway, I'm afraid I'm going to have to cut the video here because I ended up recording far more than I intended to last time per episode. So I'm gonna. These are going to be slightly shorter, but as a result, you're going to get more of them out of a chapter. So I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye, everybody.